They are priorities to protect the
But with
American
less
worker.
inspectors, you can't do investigations.
What we don't want to do is weaponize the use of those funding dollars against.
How is there weaponization if it's going to take you 187 years to complete inspections and you are cutting the inspectors that are supposed to do those inspections? The math is not mathing.
Well, statutorily, we will protect the American worker. We did not have any of our investigators currently. We're not able to take the DRP in order so that they can be assigned to the job that they are required to do.
Are you?
Oh, here we go. Ilhan Omar pretending she just discovered child labor yesterday while trying to grill a Republican cabinet nominee like she's running an episode of Law and Order, Union Edition. She throws out scary numbers, waves Project 2025 like it's a horror movie, and acts shocked that budgets exist. Meanwhile, the secretary calmly swats it all down without breaking a sweat. The math isn't mathing, but the hypocrisy sure is. If you want to see a Democrat talk herself into knots and a Republican hold the line, hit like, subscribe, and let's watch the full clip before I give you the full breakdown.
Thank the gentleman. Now I recognize the gentlelady from Minnesota for 5 minutes of questioning, Ms. Omar.
Thank you, Madam Secretary, for being here with us and watching the hearing earlier. I learned that you're also a former union member.
My father was a Teamster.
Ah,
yes.
Okay. All right. I'm a former AFSCME member. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the child labor enforcement. In two appropriations hearings last month, you expressed a firm commitment to fighting illegal child labor. At the same time, your agency has decimated ILAP, including its work to prevent child labor. Your budget proposal will weaken a historically under-resourced wage and hour division. The nominee to be your solicitor of labor wrote a chapter in Project 2025, which literally calls for the rolling back of child labor laws. Madam Secretary, can you assure this committee that you will not propose any rollbacks of child labor rules that prevent children from being employed in hazardous occupations?
I commit to fighting against all child labor exploitation. Absolutely, in this country, we do not want to exploit our children. Consistent with putting the American worker first, the budget does streamline ILAB, that is one of the agency departments that protect the American worker and protect against child labor violations. The budget provides for about $70 million to ILAB, including $38 million in grant funding, while restoring ILAB's emphasis on putting the American worker first.
So that's a long way of you saying yes?
I will work absolutely to combat all child labor.
Wonderful. Many workers across the country will feel the impacts of your staffing and funding cuts to WHD and OSHA. As of May 2025, WHD employs just 611 investigators nationwide. This is the lowest number since at least 1973, even though there are nearly 10 times as many workers and businesses for them to cover. Your budget proposal cutting the office by $25 million, with staffing projected to fall. Your budget would also cut OSHA inspectors by over 12%, even though currently it will take 185 years to inspect every workplace just once. Madam Secretary, what is the plan to keep workers safe when you're slashing enforcement?
Yeah, no, thank you again. Again, one of the overall core missions is to protect the American worker, and that includes in the wage and hour division as well. And while we are streamlining and doing some cost saving for the American taxpayer, we will always be in compliance with our statutory requirements.
Well, that doesn't, Madam Secretary, if I can just interrupt for 1 second. At one point, DOGE was set to close 20 WHD field offices and 11 OSHA offices. If this is happening, how will this protect workers?
So the offices that we have been, that were originally proposed through GSA, we have worked with to bring them online. I don't think that that is a good use of the compliance issue, that we have to protect the American worker. And through the DRP, none of our essential workers, either through wage and hour, through OSHA, through MSHA, were able to take those because we know we need those investigators on the ground to protect the American worker, and I advocated for that.
Yeah, but having fewer investigators and inspectors will not protect workers from wage theft, misclassification, and dangerous working conditions. So how are you going to operate with less, even though we didn't even have enough to begin with?
Well, it depends on what the priorities are from the past administration, but in this
Are
administration,
inspections not priorities?
they are priorities to protect the
But with
American
less
worker.
inspectors, you can't do
What we
investigations.
don't want to do is weaponize the use of those funding dollars against.
How is there weaponization if if it's going to take you 187 years to complete inspections and you are cutting the inspectors that are supposed to do those inspections? The math is not mathing.
Well, statutorily, we will protect the American worker. We did not have any of our investigators currently. We're not able to take the DRP in order so that they can be assigned to the job that they are required
So
to do.
are you saying that you're going to hire more investigators to do inspections?
What I'm saying is we did not allow our statutorily mandated offices that we need essential workers like our investigators through wage and hour, through MSHA, and through OSHA to take the DRP because they are essential to protecting the American worker in these industries. We can still cost save and do the job that we need to do.
So American workers can expect that you will expedite investigations to make sure that we are assuring their safety.
American workers can expect that the Department of Labor will protect the American worker as that is a core mission of the Department of Labor.
I hope you keep that promise. I yield back.
I thank the
All right, now that you've seen that exchange, let's talk about what actually just happened, because this was a masterclass in Democrat fearmongering and Republican discipline. Ilhan Omar came in hot, not with facts, but with vibes. She starts with the emotional setup. My father was a Teamster. Like that somehow turns a budget hearing into a therapy session. Then she jumps straight to the usual script. Republicans hate workers, Republicans love child labor, Republicans are secretly trying to send 6-year-olds back into coal mines. Pure political theater. And what does the secretary do? She doesn't panic. She doesn't dodge. She says the obvious truth. Child labor exploitation is wrong. The Department of Labor will fight it, and the budget still funds enforcement. End of story. That should have been the end of the question. But no. Omar keeps digging because she's not looking for answers. She's looking for a headline. Then comes the funniest part of the whole exchange. It will take 185 years to inspect every workplace. First of all, congratulations, you just discovered math and logistics. Second, whose administration let enforcement get that bad in the first place? Democrats have been running or influencing this department for years, and now suddenly it's a Republican crisis? Here's the part they never want to admit. Throwing more bureaucrats at a problem doesn't magically make workers safer. What the secretary said, very calmly, is that essential investigators were protected, layoffs were blocked, and enforcement priorities remain. That's called managing a budget, not slashing worker protections. And then Omar hits peak irony. She accuses the department of weaponizing funding, while Democrats are famous for weaponizing literally every federal agency they touch. IRS, DOJ, FBI, OSHA. Suddenly now they're worried about weaponization? Please, the secretary never took the bait. She stayed focused on the mission. Protect workers, follow the law, don't waste taxpayer money, and don't turn enforcement into a political weapon. That's exactly what a responsible cabinet official is supposed to do. Meanwhile, Omar kept interrupting, talking over answers, and repeating the same question because she didn't like the response. That's not oversight, that's grandstanding. Bottom line. The Republican nominee came prepared, stayed professional, defended workers, defended taxpayers, and exposed the Democrat playbook in real time. No hysteria, no fake outrage, just calm leadership while the other side tried and failed to manufacture a scandal.